Let me just see how this looks on camera.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do we look?
Take a seat.
So, Ryan, tell us the ghost story.
Here we go.
Do you see it?
Ready? Yeah. Now, when I was a young lad, it was a small house and it had a really, really big backyard. We had like the playground at the end of the yard. You had a bamboo forest, a river, and a playground there. And I saw like these figures walking along the yard, but they were white and they were really, really like clear. It was pitch black out, but you could see these white people just sitting at the far end of the yard. That freaked me out. The next morning, I believe, like I had a dream, scary like dude chasing me, right? When he finally got me, I bursted awake and I saw his face on top of mine and I quickly lifted my sheets over my head. I sat there a very long time because I was just horrified, and I put my sheets back down and his face was like still there, and that was like pretty surreal. And I just put it back over and I just waited until my grandparents screamed some Bible verse or something like that, and then they finally like went away. So that was pretty nuts. That's like one of the craziest ghost stories I had. So that's one. Do you want more? My grandparents have told me they went into their bedroom to go to sleep, and then they heard like these dogs like walking through their house. They described it as like demon dogs, right? And they were huge, right? And they were like snorkeling and like whatever, they were like growling at them. And then my grandparents like, yeah, whatever, go away. So either that's a real dog or an intruder, but I'm pretty sure it was a ghost because I wouldn't dog into the house, some kind of thumbs, you know what I'm saying? Oh, when I moved into my second house, I had a nightmare, and when I woke up, something like jostled my bed, like shook it awake, like something literally like just jumped on my bed. I like put my shield over my head again because that's what I do when I'm scared. And then when I looked, there was like a butt print on the side of my bed, like in my blanket, and that was really freaky because like that could be like something just sitting there just staring at me. Someone came and got me to wake me up. My grandparents screamed some Bible verses. They just walked out of the room.
Do you see it? Do you think these stories have something in common?
My grandparents sleep.
I've never actually described what the DEADASS podcast is. The DEADASS podcast is supposed to be a weekly podcast wherein me and my friends just talk for an hour, and then I cut it down to basically like the best moments, the highlights. The podcast highlights of a podcast that you never see. Obviously I don't think it's ghosts, but when you put them all together, it's kind of fitting for the podcast. The first thing that happens is, watch this. Right there, the camera moves a little bit. So that's the first time that happens. And then it happens again for a moment. I think he's like trying to do like the cat joke, but then, watch this. Ignore it. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. I didn't do that.
What? What just happened?
It just reset itself as I was trying to get the footage. What the fuck? Like, it didn't turn itself off, and it just does it. So obviously I don't think it's ghosts. This camera tripod is pretty shit. I'm sure it's just like fell down because of gravity. But it's very apropos of the podcast. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you for watching the episode. I'll see you next episode.